We're going to talk about the Adoro silent sticks today, right after this demo. Alright, so now that we've kind of looked at that demo, I just want to tell you guys, the good and the bad about these things, but let's get this out of the way. If you'd like to like and subscribe this video, it helps the channel out, and I'd greatly appreciate it. So, here's the thing about the silent sticks. They work, and they work a little bit better than rods, in my personal opinion, and if you're in a situation like myself where, like I live in a mobile home and my walls are very thin and I have my room sound treated. I've got a wall of panels in here that you can't see, and I've done all of the things that you can possibly do to be able to play quietly on the drums, which are very loud. I use the R. black hole heads. I use, the low volume cymbals, a combination of like Zildjian and Soul Tone, and we'll talk about those another day. And I would say that if your goal is to play very, very, very quietly, then if you happen to have something like the Black Hole or the Remo Silent Stroke or whatever you're using, and these, then you're in business. That's like probably the world's quietest drum set that you can just bash if you want to, and you'll have really, really good results. It'll be super quiet, and yeah, you'll like it. So another thing is that I do a lot of recording and composing and things like that. So something like this, if it works, like it says it's supposed to, could be a really amazing thing, because trying to record low volume cymbals and, low volume heads isn't the easiest experience. You end up having to do all sorts of, painful triggering and EQ and compression. To still not get a professional quality result, which is can be kind of tricky whenever you're in situations like myself, having to play very quietly. So whenever I got these, I was really hoping that this was going to be the solution, and I have to say that they are maybe kind of the solution. So if you're going to purchase these for that purpose, then I'm going to have to go ahead and say that you're still going to have to be pretty conscious of how loud you're playing, because they cut the volume down, but not really nearly enough to not, disturb your neighbors, really. And so, I've just been very conscious personally just to play a lot quieter in general when using these. But a good thing is that the tone is so much better than using like low volume heads and cymbals, and you can use your real stuff. You just have to adjust your playing even further, which isn't the most fun or easiest thing to do, especially if a song calls for like a lot of energy and a big sound out of your kit. So you gotta really dial in your playing with these. Another thing is, you'll notice that I have taped these, and they're not broken, but there's a few reasons why I taped these. So the first reason is because I am afraid that they will break. They don't feel very durable. I understand that they're lightweight and they have to be to keep the volume down, and that makes sense. But whenever you feel what these are made out of, this thin plastic, it really concerns me that the $20 or more you spent on these sticks are not going to last very long. And I don't break sticks. I buy like 12 pairs a year, maybe. And I play all the time and I gig constantly. I don't break sticks, but I personally, with that said, don't feel comfortable that these are going to be very durable or reliable. So, my church, they actually bought these, though, because we're in a space now where we have to keep the drum volume down, and the room we're in is really loud, low ceilings and all. So for that purpose, these have been great. But I've taped them just to make sure that they're not going to break and that we don't have to spend copious amounts of money to be able to replace them, constantly. So that's one reason. Another reason is that the actual, kind of the body of the stick, it it is about as loud as rods, which are about as loud as drumsticks. Really, the only thing that is like significantly quieter is this tip. So before I get to the tip, another reason I have taped these is because it greatly reduces the attack on the cymbals. And that does help keep the volume down, and it does kind of help your cymbals kind of like have the perception or whatever of playing louder because they're resonating faster, but they're not being as loud while doing that. So if you're going to buy these, that is a reason. And there's yet another reason why I have taped these, and it is because the balance of these sticks is just not very correct. It doesn't feel great. And you have to understand that of course there's going to be some give and take with a low volume product. Like it's not going to be exactly the same as you sitting down on your kit with your normal sticks, your normal heads, whatever it may be. I get that, and I am understanding of that, and I've been dealing with that for a few years now. So whenever I make this critique, I'm saying it is a big critique that the balance is just simply off, and trying to make these bounce properly is a real pain. So that is one thing to consider. And since we're talking about letting the stick bounce and the balance, this tip here, and I'll kind of bring it a little bit closer to you. Okay, so in theory, this is very cool. In practice, it doesn't entirely work. So I get why they did it. Once again, it keeps the volume down. There's less mass, and there's space in between the actual tip, so it's not hitting the drum as hard and whatnot. Fantastic. It functions. It certainly does. But whenever you're trying to do like diddles, rolls, just double strokes in general, or just anything that requires you to let the stick do the work for you, that's where this tip gets a little bit challenging. I've been finding myself having to do individual, wrist movements for my double strokes and wrist strokes to be able to get clean double strokes to come out while playing with these sticks, whereas I don't have that issue really at all with normal drumsticks. So I think the tip could probably use a little bit of work. We'll just say that. I don't know how they would do it. It might be a good idea for them to somehow print something that does the same shape, but it doesn't leave it to where there's like edges on the tip to where it's just uneven, because I think that's part of why it doesn't want to bounce. It also doesn't want to bounce, once again, because the balance of the stick is just off. So is it a good product? Kind of. Does it allow someone like me to be able to record normal drums and normal cymbals, normal heads and everything? Yeah, it does if you keep your volume down. Do the sticks feel good? No. Do you probably need to add this not very good looking tape to make them somewhat comfortable and balanced? Yeah, and you might also need to add it just to make sure that they're durable. I haven't had them long enough to really know if they would be durable, but when I feel them, I don't trust it. So for me, I know they're a new company, and I love what they're trying to do, and I think they're onto something, but I don't think they're quite there yet. And you can kind of see that even just in some of the some of the fine details. If you look at where the tip is placed onto the stick itself, you can see like what looks like hot glue, or maybe it's like 5-minute epoxy or something. I don't know. But it's a detail that kind of bothers me. It just makes me feel like these sticks, like, it's just another thing to show me that maybe they're not the most durable. So, buy them, I guess. They might help you. If you're already using like low volume stuff and you need it to be quieter, this will definitely do it. 100%. No argument there. If you're playing an electronic kit, and you know the thudding is just bothering people or it's just too much, this would fix your problem. That is excellent. Um, do I think though that it needs work? Yeah. So if I was gonna give this a 1 out of 10, I would probably give this like a 5 out of 10. And I want to give it more. I really do. But they're new, and I think they're going to keep improving this. I really hope they keep improving this because it's a wonderful idea. And yeah, just, go ahead and buy it. Yeah, give it a try, but just understand that it's probably going to get a lot better in the future. So thank you so much for watching this video and liking and subscribing and all of the other nonsense that we do here on YouTube. So yeah, thanks so much for watching, and be well.